evening all. At the onset, I would like to thank Mr. Subhashir Dutta, the Executive Director, Asian Influence Conference, for providing me this opportunity to share my knowledge and views in this session. Now, coming back to this session, it is rightly pointed out in this concept notes of this tri-dialogue that holistic management of water resources to conserve natural ecosystems and combating marine pollution is vital in the meeting the sustainable development goals. And at the same time, it will help in dealing with the climate change and global warming. Based on this approach, my topic for today will focus on the marine water resources. And I will cover the issues that are relevant to this session, that is the climate change, and also I took on the pollution impacts. And to some extent, I have also focused my this presentation on conservation and protection of marine ecosystem, which is also a key factor in adaptation to the climate change. As we already see that climate change is affecting our everyday life with the extreme events which are recently happening in the last few weeks. We have seen in Europe and Asia, which has been ravaged by the floods. In North America, we have seen the heat wave, and in Africa, we have seen the droughts. So all these relevant issues that I'm going to speak about are, I will try to relate it to the SDG 14 goals and the targets. And will also provide the progress in meeting these targeted and targets and challenges, and to achieve the same with respect to the India. So basically, as you're aware of the Sustainable Development Goals 14, that life below water, the United Nations has defined 10 targets and 10 indicators for the SDG 14. However, I will be speaking only few of the targets that are relevant in this session. So the targets what I will focus on is the marine pollution, climate change issues related, and conservation and management. Now the first SDG target and indicator for the SDG 14 target and indicator is marine pollution, which by 2015 we have to significantly reduce the marine pollution of all kind, and also from the land-based activities which contribute to the marine litter and nutrient pollution. So there are already global indicators, where is the eutrophication, which is the nutrient enrichment, and also the floating of the plastic debris density across the globe. So India has come up with their own national indicator framework, and along with that, we are in, it is addressed along with the SDG 14 targets. So one of the indicator for the, reducing pollution is monitoring the coastal water quality index. Now, if you see that under the two program which India is running, one is the COMAPS, and other one is seawater quality monitoring program. Based on this, we have come to some of the quality coastal water quality index in the both the east and west coast of India, and you see that we are in the range of moderate to good. We are, the target is by 2025 is that we have to further reduce this pollution load entering the ocean and improve the water quality of all, at least to reach to the index of 61 to 80, which is a good this thing. But one of the challenges India will be facing is the nutritional load which is coming from the agriculture, because India is an agricultural state with the fertilizer, and also sewage treatment plant. If there is a gaps which we have to narrow down this gaps. So this the water quality index indicator doesn't consider the plastic pollution debris, but plastic pollution in the ocean should be also considered serious. And recently the global methodology protocol has been established, where where there will be the uniformity in the reporting of the plastic litter in the ocean. So it is recently come out, this global protocol. So this will help in reporting this plastic pollution. Otherwise, there are different, everybody use different method and there is no uniformity in this. So we all know that plastic pollution in the coastal water is actually a big threat to the ocean health. And this will significantly impact on the climate change adaptation, particularly when we are dealing with the also another threat, invisible threat, I could say, that is a microplastic, which is almost everywhere now. And and we have to deal with this. In my recent study, I have done the recent study in the Goa itself in the different coastal ecosystem on the microplastic abundance. And I found that it is present almost almost everywhere. And I mean, in the estuaries, in mangroves, in salt pan, on beaches of Goa, it's present in almost everywhere in the range of 50 to 400 plastic items per kg of the sediments. So in fact, microplastic is ubiquitous, and lot of literature saying that negative impact on the ecosystem productivity are getting realized now. Another thing to realize for India is that India, being the fourth largest exporter of fishery and aquaculture product across the world, the plastic pollution may have a significant impact, and we need big attention for this. I just want to mention here is that plastic pollution is not just like a carbon emission, is a global issue. This slide shows you that the plastic litter, which is coming from the Southeast Asia, can reach the whole Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean itself. So it's just like the carbon emission, plastic pollution also is a global issue. Also, this slides shows that the production and the carbon emission, the plastic production and the carbon emissions are following the similar trends. But the progress of the policy to reduce the and prevent further plastic pollution are lagging behind. So a lot of policies are needed so that the plastic pollution is prevented or controlled. In fact, India has taken the pledge by 2022 to ban all the single-use plastics. So such policies will help in reducing this plastic pollution. So basically, this is about the marine litter and the nutrient pollution, what I touched upon. Another indicator or the target which directly linked to the climate change issues is the ocean acidification. And that is due to the direct uptake of the anthropogenic carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, which results in the decrease in the pH of the ocean, and that's called the ocean acidification. And normally it is just measured as the average marine acidity, coastal water acidity measured. India has, one of the thing to mention over here, ocean acidification on marine biodiversity has a large impact, in the sense like it can, ecosystem services and functions can be, has a significant impact of this. One of the perfect example I can give you is coral bleaching, which is mostly happening due to the temperature rise of the water. But at the same time, acidic ocean will reduce the availability of calcium minerals for these corals to, repair and rebuild, And similarly, the case in some of the crustaceans and algal skeletons. So therefore, if you see the ocean acidification is a real threat to the marine ecology. India has done the data, under these COMAPs and the seawater monitoring programs, we are measuring on the east and west coast of India, and normally the pH is right now good. It's a global average, so it is not decreased much. It is on the par with the global average. But this slide I just wanted to mention, as per the IPCC emission scenario of the CO2, there is projection that by end of this century, by 2095, if you see the It is coming quite less than the 8. So this needs to be monitored. As I mentioned earlier, that the conservation and protection of natural ecosystem and its is very important for the climate change adaptation. And if you see, there are two targets and indicators that are directly relevant to the management and conservation of aquatic ecosystems. And both these targets are already here, actually. By 2020, they are already here. So if you go to see the conservation of at least 10% of the coastal and marine areas is one of the target. So how we are doing it in the recent in the recent policy paper that I published for the G20 summit, which was held in Saudi Arabia last year, November, I did the assessment for the G20 countries in terms of marine protected areas, and it was, many of the countries didn't meet, the 10% target. So why it is important? It is an important indicator, as it is well documented that the marine protected area are an effective tool to conserve marine biodiversity and ensure sustainable livelihood for dependent population, sorry. So it is an important area to consider, indicator to consider. Another indicator, which is also coming under the conservation and management, is to sustainable manage and protect marine and coastal ecosystem to avoid significant adverse effect. And this is based on management of ecosystem-based approach. Here, India made a very good approach by increasing national indicator under national indicator framework. India made a good the indicator what is used is percentage increase in the area under mangroves. This why it is important is that the mangroves are the most productive marine ecosystem on earth, and they have a significant impact in improving livelihood and also has a good resilience for the coastal climate change resilience, for the protection and also for the livelihood. So based if you see that recent report, we are increasing the mangrove covers across India and both in the east and west coast. So that's a positive thing. So to sum up, as you see, some of the SDG 14 targets, India did a good progress, but still lots to be done in sustaining the health of the marine waters and conserve their ecology. I would like to say here that overall meeting SDG 14 goals will foster the human health through the ocean sustainability. Thank you.